there are a lot of employee benefits out there, and aside from what kind of environment can be provided for them at the work, or if they're working remotely, what kind of morale can be provided just within the work flow of everything is one thing. But then there's also, when we look into health insurance and all the other benefits that come along with employee benefits, right? So what are the typical employee benefits? So first of all, first one's going to be health insurance. That's known as major medical. So offering group health insurance, that's the first one that people want to know the most about. After that, you get into ancillary, which is a fancy word for dental and vision, because dental and vision is not a part of major medical health. Just as with Medicare, dental and vision are not a part of Medicare. However, you can, add separate programs on. So ancillaries, dental and vision. So major medical, then ancillary. Then we look at the voluntary. And so I'll go down a list. There's a huge list of voluntary programs out there, but life insurance and disability insurance, short-term disability and long-term disability, two different programs, but both very important. I push a lot for short-term disability first, and then also offer a program that does offer long-term, but it's really important. And most disabilities are within the first 90 days. They might be 2 weeks to 3 months in disability, where a long-term plan doesn't kick in until 3 months or 6 months. So there's short-term and then there's long-term. After that, we look at long-term care coverage. A lot of employees are interested in long-term care coverage, and it's not offered by nearly as many employers as it should be. And there are some unique ways to offer that without being too costly to the company. And there's some programs that we can implement with that. But after that, we get into gap coverage. So gap coverage is just that. It's the gap. It covers when you have your major medical health insurance, what you're going to have is a deductible and a maximum out of pocket that will have to be paid before, your major medical insurance will cover 100% of the rest of the bills, right? So gap coverage covers a certain gap of out-of-pocket costs. So it's almost, you could think of it as first dollar coverage, whereas just traditional major medical, a typical maybe $5,000 deductible plan, the employee pays that $5,000 of the deductible, and then they have a co-insurance kick in and they pay a percentage, and then after they've paid 20% and major medical's paid 80%, and they've been billed up to, let's say, $7,000, then 100% coverage from there on out. Gap coverage will be there to cover those gaps and basically not run the employee that, $5,000, $7,000, whatever their deductible and max out-of-pocket costs are, which is important, very important, and not utilized enough and not stressed enough. And I push really hard for understanding and knowing why those are important. Then we have wellness programs, so company wellness programs, basically programs that pay the employees to be healthy. And healthy employees means healthier workforce, means everybody's happier. Those are really cool and very, very cutting edge. A lot of HR representatives that I work with, their number one job is to focus on employee wellness. And this program that Westfall Insurance offers, the Trifecta Wellness Program, is really, really unique and top of the line and cutting edge when it comes to offering wellness programs. And I'll have more information on that in separate videos and pages. But after that, we look at some of the more traditional voluntary supplemental stuff you might hear, like from Aflac or Colonial, Transamerica, Mutual Omaha, Cigna, those types of carriers. You have like accidental injury, hospital indemnity, critical illness, and sometimes you have like cancer insurance. Essentially what those are is they're like the gap coverage, just more exclusively for that specified event. So if it's an accident, you're not going to get coverage if you have an accident plan and maybe you had pneumonia, or if you were going to the hospital and going to have a baby. That's not accident coverage. That would be hospital indemnity coverage. Or it could be all put under one umbrella into gap coverage. The only one, I like to replace gap coverage. I like to use gap coverage as opposed to accident and hospital. The only one that makes sense to have extra would be critical illness, because of all the other out-of-pocket costs that may come with something like a cancer diagnosis, where you maybe have a situation where you have a rare form of cancer and you need to be flying to another cancer center all the way across the United States to go get treatment for that specified cancer. And that's not something that health insurance covers, not something that your gap coverage covers. And that would be the one thing that would separate that. And so I'm a big fan of critical illness protection policies as well for that reason. So as far as health insurance and employee insurance, life, disability, health goes, those are the main benefits that companies should be looking to offer their employees. And just knowing how to structure it and put it all together into something that's presentable, easy to understand, is our job here at Westfall Insurance. So hope that was helpful, and please check out more of our videos for more specific details on programs and how we can help your business.